for all your life. UNA University, manifesting all your dreams. With paradise, your land is home. Writing contracts on your own. Protect your loved ones every day. Knowledge goes a long, long way. UNA University for me.
UNA told me, you don't ever want to step into the court. That's not the place that you want to be. And I stepped into the court. I was never in contract. UNA told me all this is about contracts. And I stepped in the court and I wasn't under contract. And I was frightened beyond all. But I went to the court because I thought I was supposed to go to the court. And the court was threatening me. They were pushing every button that they felt they could legally. And what they were doing was violating the law, my rights, my father's rights, and so on. UNA helped me not to go crazy. They relieved my soul of the fear of these people coming to my home, though they were coming to my home and putting notes on the door. And it was so many things that these alleged government officials were doing. I learned the law of maxims. Never heard of the law of maxims in my life. I'm certified as a paralegal, and they didn't tell me that in paralegal school. I had 2 attorneys. I had to fire one. And actually, I fired both of them. One of them was a friend of mine, had been my friend for over 26 years. He was a personal friend, and he did not properly represent me. I went to jail. My father was killed in the custody of these people. And I didn't know any of my rights. I was so ignorant. I was moving with fear because I took care of my sister, had everything on my back, and I had to unravel all this information. I went into the court file. UNA told me about the hierarchy of laws. UNA eased my pain, it eased my heart. I was so stressed in the way. And then I know I have some level of trauma. I have a lot of trauma. But UNA brought me back to a level of life. They showed me these people could not do anything to me. And that I realized that they knew that we as people were ignorant of the law. And it says ignorance of the law is not an excuse. So my ignorance was an excuse. But by me seeing the fraud, that was an avenue for me. UNA did that for me. They showed me, they brought me out of so much. I'm here in the house now. This is the home. And they tried to probate it to sell it. They can't sell it. My name is on the property. But when I came to UNA, I didn't know that I won. I had won already. And these people could not respond. Attorneys cannot respond at the first level because they're getting their information is basically hearsay. UNA, they gave me a foundation. The greatest foundation that I've ever had in my life. And they taught me the law. And they cannot usurp the law. I knew to write everybody. I wrote all these people. I would work in complete frantic. I was frantic when I worked to get this paperwork done and send it to them. She helped me grow as a woman, as a spiritual being, to stand, to know my rights, and to operate in righteousness. If you don't operate in righteousness and you're trying to get over, they're going to get over.
I'm a general contractor, so UNA helped me put my business under trust. She also helped me get my 98 EIN number so I can open up a real business account, and I can do brokerage and everything else. It's gonna help me on a better, straighter edge, business-wise, for equipment and so forth. The business doesn't have to pay taxes, so that's a big plus. So it's helped me out a lot in business.
I have multiple properties that I own. With UNA's help, I'm putting my properties under trust, protecting myself. You know, I didn't realize really once I got into UNA how much more than it really was, because the universal laws, you know, I really think about that kind of stuff and how spiritual all this is. It's really, really, really deep stuff. Yeah, it's definitely making a huge difference in my life. I mean, just being more confident, knowing you can stand up for yourself. I mean, it's pretty important stuff.
I've been with UNA now for over a year. I've learned a tremendous amount of things. Basics of law, trust law, history that I have never, ever heard in my entire life. All backed up with the research that she has. So even when I do research on my own, I can't refute it. I can't say, oh, you're wrong here. Or if I do, she has other things to back it up. So it just kept on going in that direction. And she lives by universal law. So whatever you give out, you get back. She walks it. I've been with UNA long enough to watch it myself. So there is a trust factor there that has been developed over this period of time. As far as applying the universal laws myself, it's affected me personally because I've got to share these same laws. I still am raising two sons that are young enough. They're not 18 yet, and they have applied this to their own lives. Once we started doing this, things started changing even in their school. Kids started treating them differently. They're looked at differently. I can tell you this, that I know for a fact they're getting more popular in school just by understanding what I put out, I get back. Or I put out love, I get love. They're doing this. As a dad, watching one of my sons get bullied and understanding universal law is because my son was putting that energy out to get bullied. Do you understand how hard that is to tell your child that you might be the reason for this? But Dad, I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm just sitting there. No, you have an energy that you're putting off. You have an energy within you that's drawing it to you. That's a hard thing to take accountability for, especially when you're at the time a 12-year-old. But a 12-year-old has started to understand it, and now the 12-year-old doesn't have that problem anymore. My 17-year-old son had a friend. He unfriended him, didn't want to see him anymore because they were going in different directions. My son started understanding universal law. What you put out, you get back. Consciously or unconsciously, they're learning it. Now that friend is back. That friend that was hanging around the wrong crowd isn't hanging around him anymore. And I've even noticed a change in his friend because he's starting to take on the characteristics of my son. I'm not saying my son's perfect, but what I am saying is there's more laughter, there's more peace, there's more openness to this other boy because my son is more open. My offspring are the proof that this law is a law. And so as we get deeper in it, you have to take more accountability for yourself, which is not easy, especially when there's just so easy to make excuses of, well, I wouldn't even do anything wrong. Well, somewhere along the way, you put something out, and now you get to, it's no different than sowing and reaping. If you want to get biblical, whatever you sow, you're going to reap. What's the difference? Nothing. These things are being walked out in a more deliberate manner in my life than I ever have. And so I never saw these principles when it comes to law, when it comes to learning trust, law, trying to move away from a despotic government that we have today. How's all this going to fit in? Well, it all fits in. we have the despotic government today is because this is the energy that we put out. And now, we are the creators of it. We somehow lost the reins to the created thing, and now the created thing has made itself known back to us. I've watched many times so far, just randomly handing money over to somebody, or how the way I react when I hold a door open to somebody. It's not just a gesture. I have an intent with it. I want generally this person to have a great day. And now doors open up for me. And I get to say the same thing. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Not just thank you. There's more to it. I put more into it. Because the more I put into it, the more I'm seeing I'm getting back.
Well, first and foremost, doing a declaration, it actually literally got me right out of the matrix. As far as my picture being shown on the sheriff, when you go online and they see pictures and stuff like that, I'm not on there. I don't pay child support. I'm not proud of it, to say I don't pay child support, but I don't have to. I take care of my children. I don't need nobody tapping on the shoulder and threatening me and telling me I'm going to jail. I don't give them money to take care of my children, my property. This is my trust. This is my silver bullet. That's what it's called. I got my house in trust. When they pulled me over and they was trying to run my name, they couldn't find no information, which I'm so glad because I had just put everything in like a month and a half before they actually pulled me over. And they couldn't find me in the system. They really gave me a hard time because I knew what I was talking about, because I was really overstanding about what I was saying to them, and they knew I was right. So I asked the supervisor. I got the supervisor on live recording saying that he was forcing me into a contract. So they kidnapped me, took me downtown, and they said, a white shirt. They had like 3 or 4 white shirts in there. We can't keep him. I heard them say it. I said, I told you. Go right down. So they said, why? You're driving in car illegally. And they turned the screen around and she pointed at it like boom. And then that's when the guy, I never forget it, Jay Hall, I forget his badge number, but I remember his name. And he said, we'll stand up, sir, we apologize. He uncuffed and he asked me to give me a ride home. Here's my declaration I did, and I got it, once I got everything in, and when I went to court, I showed them all my paperwork. I showed them my declarations. I showed them the lien I had on my vessel and all of that. And they gave me a letter of dismissal. With this disposition alone, with them dismissing the case, it proved that they illegally detained me, which is kidnapping. They illegally took my car and they tried to pay me to get it back, which is extortion. And when they stole my car, that's a stolen vehicle. If a judge dismissed the case, it's involved. It's proved that I didn't do no wrong.
Before I knew about you today, I didn't know anything about how to use conflict management when I'm talking to agents and agencies, the police or a judge or a clerk or somebody at the post office. So, these are things that we've gone over. I didn't have any idea of the different laws that we've learned to also hold these people's feet to the fire to get the things done that we need to get done. I've got a deeper understanding of trust, how to use the trust, how to copyright, trademark my name. Didn't have a clue what that actually meant, what it was for, what it did for me. I learned about having a spiritual name, why we have a spiritual name, why do we want to use it. It's protecting the body.
Definitely, I'm using it now to put the strongman thing, which I learned about a little bit before I got into UNA. So I put that under trust, and also my home's under trust, so nobody can come at me with, whatever kind of lawsuits and stuff. Everybody needs to do that. Like, everybody needs to be aware of this kind of stuff. And it's kind of shocking that I didn't know, and I'm like pretty old to not be knowing this kind of stuff. It's pretty crazy. It's important to know. Like, everybody needs to take it.
I started off in a Moorish American temple, going through their process, and it just didn't sit well with me with a lot of things. And once I seen your video, your energy was real good. And so that's what drew me to you. And I looked up your links you had on YouTube. And then that's when I contacted you and started a class with that, to base off of knowledge. Being in court knocks you off your spiritual square if you don't know law. So that's why I came to UNA.
That's when I started learning. I'm like, you held my hand and I can feel, I can understand everything you're saying. He was like, A is felt like this, and you put this, and the B is this way, and C is, I knew it. I knew, then when I brought it down there, I could talk, I knew how to explain myself. You didn't just point to the water, you brought me to it, took the cup, brought it to my mouth, helped me drink it, said, am I full? But I said, no, you helped me drink again, and then you would say, you got to drink your own now. And then once I got it, I was like, yo, I can do this. And then I started drinking on my own. And then once I got it, you can't tell me nothing.
What has all of this done for me? It's given me a deeper peace of mind. It's given me a platform to stand on. When you have to stand up for your rights, it's not easy. It's very nerve-wracking because we're taught today, we don't even know what our rights are, for one thing. It's just, we've been dumbed down so much. Now I have a better understanding of what rights are. I have a better understanding of hierarchy of laws, where we as the man and woman stand and where everything else sits. I have a better understanding of how to use maxims of law, which is God's law, which stands above all of their laws. Corporate, private citizens, judges, police, they're all layers below where we as man and woman stand. So it's given me more confidence in being able to stand on the rights that I forgot about.
Working with the universal laws and having more knowledge of the universal laws helped me out more. It helps to settle you more because now you know more, the education is there more. It eases your thoughts, knowing the universal laws and the hermetic laws to deal with other entities, other corporations out there. Because the more you know, the more at ease you are, the more you're able to represent yourself.
With the spiritual law, that's way more than I was thinking I would learn, because it's really important, and for you to live your life based on those laws. I think with all the stuff that's going on right now is why I've become a little bit more on the spiritual side. I've totally changed in that aspect with everything that's going on. This spiritual way of doing things it's really a cool way to be able to protect yourself and to be able to operate as a person that can take care of yourself. Just the awareness is really kind of changed the way I think and approach things and look at things, for sure. Especially whenever it comes to court and all that kind of stuff. It's pretty crazy. I love the idea that you can win no matter whether they're suing you, you're suing them, or whatever. You've got a way to win. It's crazy.
So stay in this class. Share it with your friends, those who will listen. Everyone is not going to listen, but I know it opened up a lot for me. So open your eyes, learn it, learn this, put it as part of your being.
And I've learned so much, and I thank you. And I encourage everybody to get with Diva. If you don't want to join the seminar, just go to her Facebook page and just follow her. She don't drop a jewel, I'm telling you. She don't drop a jewel. Every single page.
I'm so grateful. There's no greater gift that I was given by any one person. People don't have to tell you. Most of the time, they're not telling you. This is well worth the class. You cannot buy this information anywhere. What are all these heavy schools? They're not teaching that. They're not teaching it. Get this. That's the only advice I can tell you is to get this.
I ain't just saying this because I know Diva. I never met her in my life. This is me just talking to her like this. I was skeptical about the but man, I'm telling you, it's the best thing I've ever spent in my life, and I spent a lot of money. And I'm telling you, this is the best ever because I'm protected, I'm safe, and I'm out the matrix, and I gotta exercise it. And you can do it too. I'm telling you, with a schedule feet on file, on public notice, we got power, man. We are. I am trying to that I am a nation by myself because they listen. I got white shirts listening to me. I paid money for this class. You got to pay for it too. So let them pay for it. Let them learn how to do it. Let them walk them. Let them hold your hand. I love you, Diva. Anything you need from me, I got you.
So I want to tell you, UNA is the way. That's the only way. You talking about the United Way? That's the way. There's no other way. And you just have to listen. I urge you to listen. Be patient enough to listen.
And I encourage anybody who watching this, if you're taking her class, promote her. Tell her, get on your Facebook page and say, yo, go to Diva. Because you need to talk to more people like you. You don't need to talk to people. I've talked to some people. I've lost a lot of friends. And I'm telling you like this, people, if y'all watching this, you're going to lose friends. You're going to need people who think like you. Okay? You're going to need it because once you learn this, when they start talking to you, they're going to sound crazy. Like you talk to them. And you're going to be like, what? You ain't going to understand none of that. So if you're watching this, encourage people to listen to you and listen to Diva. Go to Diva. You want to talk to people like you. You want to be able to correspond and talk layman and talk free, not talk slave.
So if you're looking for something to free yourself, to get out of the matrix, as well as learning things that your mom, your dad, your teachers never taught you before, I want you to check out UNA, United Nations from America. Maybe it'll be like me. It'll change your life.